Today we're going to use Tinkercad and the new Smart Shapes to make a sweet bit holder. So let's get cracking. To accelerate the process, I'm going to give you a template file. Please type bit.ly/tinkhex and press enter. This takes you to the hexagon drill bit shape. It is made in Codeblocks. Of course, it's set to copy and tinker, so don't forget the golden rule of Tinkercad. Give a reaction before you copy and tinker. This is Tinkercad Codeblocks. We design using blocks. If you've never seen it before, I've got a full playlist. You can check out the tutorial right here. For this project, we're simply using the polygon, and check this out. When we hit the make, bang, we get them rotated in a nice little circle. It has controls, so you can pick the number of circles and the gap between them. You can also pick the distance across the corners. Right now I've got 10. If we make this 12 and press enter, now when we click down here on the lightning bolt, 7 circles spaced 32 apart. It is that slick and easy to work with it. But wait, it gets better. Once again, you can modify this to make it do different things. You could have more rings, whatever you want. But what I'm going to show you here today is how to share it to your 3D design space. Simply make it a code block shape. I'm going to give it the name Hex Circle. You could add a description. You can add tags. You do not have to, though. I'm going to simply now hit Save Shape. At this point, we can back out. Notice we have a copy of the project, so even if you modify this, you're not affecting mine. And then we're going to simply create a brand new 3D design. Now I like to start with naming projects. I'm going to call this Drill Bit Holder. And then we're going to simply move over here to your creations and find that new shape. We are going to use this to make a holder for some security bits I bought. All right, so I measured my little bits, and I know that across the edges they are 7. So I'm going to just take this shape, and I'm going to put 8. That gives me a little bit of space for pushing them in. I also know that I've got 11 of them. I could make a single size 11 shape, but instead I'm going to go 8 on the outside and 3 on the inside. I am going to make this a hole, and let's do Control D. And I'm going to make the second one only have 3 circles, and let's try a gap of 5 and press enter. Just like that, we've got our shapes lined up. I'm going to switch to orthographic view and top view, and we can double check our numbers. I think I can take this one down to 14, and then I want to click on this shape, set my nudge to 0.25, and I'm just going to nudge it over 1-2 clicks until I think the gap around those corners is similar. I do want to let you know that I modified this shape so now you can use decimals for your gap distance. I did have the length of the sides set to use decimals on the original template, but I'm going to just instantly go back to size 8. Back to perspective view. I do want these raised up so they don't cut all the way through our design that we're about to add. Let's change our settings to 1 millimeter and do Control up 2 times. That gets us above the work plane. Now we can back up to our basic shapes. Bring out the cylinder. Notice these are bundle groups full of the code. We're going to make them one large bundle group by doing Control B. I can now tell that this is a total of about 35 millimeters. So I'm going to simply grab this, shift stretch it, and I'm going to type 40 right here. Our old shape was 20 millimeters high, so I'm going to just change this to 20. Notice because those are raised up, they poke out. Now on the cylinder shape, I'm going to maximize the sides. I'm going to set the bevel to 2 and the segments to 10, which is max. This gives us a nice smooth shape. Out for a line. I can click on this to make it the master and just choose center and center. I think that's going to be perfect. I am going to double click and show you that we can edit this. Because of the extra space I've got, I'm going to simply change this to 15 and nudge them out a tiny bit. Boom. Just like that, double click, the edit's complete. I can grab them and do Control G to union group. Now we can simply tape our part, choose export, STL. And in my 3D modeling folder, I did this earlier, so I am going to call it V2 and hit Save Changes. Today I'm going to print this on the Prusa Core 1, so we're bouncing to Prusa Slicer. I'm going to simply hit Add, and let's find our drill bit holder version 2. We're going to use 0.2 settings for speed, rapid PLA from Elegoo. Let's hit Slice Plate. Let's hit Send to Connect. and set the printer to ready and confirm and get printing. Before I wrap up, I do want to highlight the HLModTech Digital Library. You can get there using this bit.ly, the link in the description of the video, or the link that I pin in the comments. Now, this is a Google Sheet where I try and put all my favorite videos. There are more than 5,000 videos to pick from, so this is just trying to make it easier for you to find stuff. Now, I do want to highlight under free files, this is another way to get to the hex shape. Also, if you move to level 5, these are my Codeblocks tutorials. Notice this one in pink, it is mentioning a variable fix. Many of my older tutorials, they still work, but they used a different system. This is how you solve that. As far as the new smart shapes, they are explained right here. Of course, I give you a few awesome ones in here, including how to make your very own adjustable chair. Of course, here we are with it printed on the Prusa Core 1 Plus. Absolutely loving the results so far. The build of the printer is absolutely fantastic, and the quality of what I've been pulling off it is absolutely priceless. If you have not worked with Prusa before, I do highly recommend it, and of course you can check for links in the description. And 40 minutes later, we've got a part. And here we are, not too much later. Awesome bit holder. All 11 bits in place, they slide in, and bang. Now I've got a way to keep my security bits organized. How cool is that? As I wrap up, of course, I want to highlight love useful projects like this. If you ever have something that you're struggling with, please reach out, because if I can help you solve something like this, it absolutely makes my day. Of course, I also want to mention the smart shapes. Please check out the bit.ly up above to see all the content I've created. They are fantastic, and don't forget, when you're done, if you make them public, other users can open it up, even make the code better, and you can have fun making shapes that are reusable in all your Tinkercad designs. I do also want to say thank you to everybody that supports me via YouTube memberships. Don't forget, there are 3 levels of support starting as low as $5 a month. With any level of support, you get early access to videos. Make sure you also pay attention for those members only posts. A massive shout out as well to everybody that supports me via Patreon. Love how that group is growing way past 600 members. It has a fantastic free messaging area where you can ask questions, post designs, gain skills. Of course, you can learn more with the bit.ly up above or the link in the description. Finally, friends, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget, every time you like, hype, share a video, add a comment down below or click subscribe. You're helping HLModTech get just a little bigger, which absolutely makes my day. Friends, have a glorious day and keep tinkering.